Have you ever found yourself needing, really professional, eye-catching images for your brand or maybe a project?
Oh, absolutely.
And then you just hit that wall, high costs, endless back and forth on revisions. It's
It's a
tough.
really common bottleneck, yeah.
But what if I told you that ChatGPT's image generation stuff has basically, well, completely changed the game here?
It really has, and I think most people are only just scratching the surface of what it can actually do.
Right. The amazing thing, for me anyway, is how that barrier to entry for, like, high-quality visuals has just vanished.
It's practically dissolved, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We're shifting from a world where, professional design was often just too expensive for small businesses or maybe solo creators.
Heavily prohibitive.
Exactly. To one where, honestly, professional-grade images are accessible to pretty much everyone. And the speed is incredible.
That's speed. Yeah, that's a big one. From your perspective, what's maybe the biggest impact of this for, let's say, a small business owner who just couldn't afford a designer before?
Well, it's not just about saving money, though that's obviously huge. It's more about empowering, every creator, every marketer to bring their vision to life almost instantly.
Yeah.
At the speed of thought, really.
Mm-mm.
AI image generation isn't just some passing trend. It feels like the future of marketing. It directly tackles that massive need for more and more visual content.
Because our attention spans are just gone.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And hyper-personalization, too. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about generating unique visuals for every single customer segment if you wanted to.
Wow.
Or, like, tweaking ad creatives in minutes based on how they're actually performing.
Yeah.
That level of agility, traditional design just can't keep up.
That real-time tweaking is such a power-up for creators. But what's the biggest learning curve for someone just starting out with this, especially with that instant feedback?
Yeah, initially, it's figuring out how to talk to the AI effectively. It's less like clicking buttons in software,
Right.
and more like learning a new language, almost.
Yeah.
You have to be really precise, really intentional with your words.
And that is exactly where we're going with this deep dive today.
Good.
Our mission here is to give you the ultimate shortcut to really mastering ChatGPT's image creation tools. We're going to unpack some powerful techniques to help you create truly stunning visuals, ones that convert, but, efficiently.
Saving time and money along the way.
Absolutely. So
Oh,
to really unlock this power, we need to learn to speak ChatGPT's language, which brings us straight to our first trick, the foundation, really, the 8-element prompting framework.
this is your essential toolkit.
Exactly. Think of it as the grammar for image generation.
It is. It's all about precision. See, ChatGPT is incredibly capable, but it takes things very literally. Your prompt, that's its blueprint.
The better the blueprint.
The better the result. The more detailed, the more structured that blueprint is, the closer the output will be to what you actually pictured in your head.
Yeah.
This framework just provides that necessary structure.
Okay, so let's break down these 8 elements. First up, subject. This is where you describe the main focus. So if it's a person, you detail their appearance, clothes, pose, maybe even their expression.
Definitely. Or if it's an object, you specify its style, its key features, things like that. Just be really clear about what it is.
Got it. Element 2 is composition.
Yeah. This designs like the camera angle, the framing, how things are arranged in the shot. Are you after a tight close-up?
Or maybe a really wide sweeping landscape shot.
Or even something unusual, like a top-down view looking straight down.
Hmm.
This really sets the visual stage.
Okay. Next up, style. This is where the artistry comes in, right?
Totally. Is it photorealistic, 3D animation, maybe an oil painting vibe, minimalist, futuristic, you name it? What's the aesthetic feel you're going for?
And closely linked to that, element 4, lighting.
Oh, lighting is so important for mood. It's amazing the difference it makes.
Like soft morning light versus, say, dramatic sunset lighting.
Exactly. Or maybe that crisp, clean look you get in a professional photo studio. You need to specify that.
Makes sense. Now, something crucial for anyone with a brand, colors.
Absolutely critical. If you have specific brand colors, and you probably should, you need to put the hex codes right there in the prompt, like hashtag 0A4D68, hashtag 08395, whatever they are.
Don't just say blue.
Please don't just say
Okay.
blue. Using the hex codes guarantees that pixel-perfect color match across everything the AI generates. It's vital for looking professional and, recognizable online.
Good tip. Okay, element 6 is mood. What feeling should the image evoke?
Yeah, describe the emotion. Energetic? Mysterious? Calm? Professional? Confident? What's the vibe?
Then we have details. This sounds straightforward, like adding props or accessories.
It is, but there's a really powerful trick within details, which is negative prompting.
Telling it what you don't want.
Precisely. You might say no text or no letters or no people in the background. It's surprisingly effective for cleaning up images and avoiding unwanted clutter.
Okay, good one. And finally, element 8, context.
This just explains the bigger picture, the setting, maybe the time period, the overall purpose. It helps ChatGPT understand the scene it's creating.
Right. So to make this concrete, let's compare. A vague prompt like, create an image of a woman working.
You could get anything back from that. So much left to chance.
Right. Now compare it to this detailed 8-element prompt. A young female marketing expert wearing a navy blue blazer confidently presenting on a futuristic tech stage. Subject. Shot from a low angle, looking up to create a sense of authority. Composition. Photorealistic, modern style. Style. Bright stage lighting illuminating from the front. Lighting uses a dominant color palette of dark blue, #0B2447, and white colors. The image exudes a professional, innovative, and energetic mood. A large LED screen in the background displays a growth chart. Details. The setting is an international technology conference. Context.
See the difference. That level of the detail just drives massively better, more predictable results. You basically know what you're going to get.
You can almost picture just hearing the prompt. Okay, so once you've got that foundation, that 8-element framework down, the next step is making it all faster and crucially consistent for your brand.
This is where it gets really efficient.
Yeah, and that's where ChatGPT's memory feature comes in. This is trick #2, building a brand board right inside ChatGPT using its memory.
This is a really neat capability. You can actually tell ChatGPT to remember specific things about your brand.
How does that work in practice?
You just tell it directly. You could say something like, remember that my brand colors are moss green, #556B2F, and cream, #F5F5DC.
Okay.
Or, remember my preferred image style is cozy, natural, and rustic. You could even give it info about your audience, like, remember my target audience is coffee lovers and people who prefer sustainable lifestyle.
And the benefit is?
Massive time savings. In future prompts, instead of typing out those hex codes or describing your rustic style every single time,
You just say.
using my brand colors or in my brand's preferred style. Boom, done.
Wow. Okay. That ensures consistency across everything.
Exactly. And it saves so much repetitive typing. It seriously is a game changer for keeping that brand look tight without constant manual effort. It turns ChatGPT into this super efficient, brand-aware assistant.
Leaving you free to think about the bigger creative picture.
Precisely.
Okay, and speaking of brand identity, trick #4 builds right on top of that memory feature. Logo creation.
Yeah, remember when getting logos meant hiring a specialist, expensive software?
Oh yeah, weeks of back and forth?
Now, ChatGPT can whip up multiple logo concepts in minutes. Using those brand elements it remembers, you could give it a simple prompt like, generate a minimalist logo of a stylized coffee bean using my brand colors.
And because it remembers the colors and maybe the style.
It applies them automatically. You get several variations back almost instantly. This is where you see these tricks starting to layer up and become really powerful for rapid prototyping, even for core stuff like logos.
Okay, that's cool. And for building out, say, your personal brand online, especially on social media, trick #5 is creating a professional brand avatar.
These are becoming really important for standing out, having a consistent face online.
So how do you do that?
Pretty easy, actually. You upload a clear photo of yourself.
Yeah.
Just a headshot usually works best. Then you use a prompt like, create a professional brand avatar from this photo in a pixel art style with a background color suitable for social media.
Pixel art style. Okay, you can choose the style.
Oh, yeah. Photorealistic, cartoon, sketch, whatever fits your brand. And it usually takes, what, maybe 90 seconds?
That fast.
Yep. Just remember, though, the original photo matters. Your expression, the angle of your head, those things will influence the final avatar, so pick a good starting pick.
Got it. Choose your reference wisely. Okay, so we've covered creating images from scratch, branding them systematically. But what if you see an image out there that just clicks? You love it, and you want to kind of borrow its magic for your own stuff.
The inspiration phase. That brings us to trick #3. Reverse engineering images into prompts. This is like a goldmine.
Sounds intriguing. How does it work?
Super simple. You upload any image you like into ChatGPT. Could be an ad, an artwork, anything. And then you just ask it, describe the prompt that could have generated this image.
And it tells you.
It analyzes everything, the style, the composition, colors, mood, and spits out a detailed prompt that you can then tweak and use yourself.
Yeah.
I actually did this with an ad I kept seeing everywhere.
Yeah.
Felt like cracking a code. It's brilliant for analyzing successful ad creatives. If you see an ad that's clearly working, screenshot it, reverse engineer the prompt,
Yeah.
bang, you've got a template to learn from or adapt.
That's a really smart way to deconstruct what makes a visual work.
Yeah.
Okay, now, prepare to be impressed. Trick, #6, adding or changing elements within an existing image.
This is one of the capabilities that really blows people away when they first see it.
I can imagine. So you can just swap things out.
Yep. Or add things in seamlessly. You upload your image, then there's usually a selection tool. You highlight the area you want to change, say, a laptop on a desk.
Okay.
Then you just make your request, like replace the laptop on the table with a small cactus pot.
And it just does it.
It analyzes the lighting, the perspective, the surrounding textures, and integrates that cactus pot so it looks completely natural, like it was always meant to be there. It's incredibly clever. Feels almost like magic sometimes.
That sounds incredibly useful for quick edits. Okay, for creating really unique visuals, trick #8 is all about style transfer.
Right. This lets you take an existing photo and completely transform its artistic style, but keep the main subject intact.
Give me an example.
Okay, imagine you have a photo of, say, a busy street in Saigon at night. You could prompt, turn this photo of a Saigon street into a Van Gogh-style painting, emphasizing the motion and the nightlights.
Whoa!
And it will reinterpret your photo in that swirling, expressive Van Gogh style. It's fantastic for turning maybe ordinary photos into something really eye-catching and unique for your content. Gives it a distinct artistic voice.
Making things instantly more memorable. I like that. Okay, next up, trick #9, expanding the frame, also called outpainting.
That's right, outpainting. This is all about extending the borders of an image to create a larger scene.
When would you use that?
Perfect if you've got a great photo, but it's cropped too tightly. Or maybe you need it in a different aspect ratio, like wide for a banner, but the original is square.
So you just upload the image.
Upload it and give a prompt like, expand this image to the sides to a 16:9 ratio, continuing the scene of the beach at sunset.
And it just fills in the blanks.
Seamlessly, it continues the patterns, the lighting, the whole vibe, extending the scene outwards without any obvious joins, like having an invisible camera zoom out.
Very cool. Okay, last one in this creative manipulation section. Trick #10, iterative editing through conversation.
This is where ChatGPT really feels like your personal art director.
How so?
Instead of starting completely from scratch if you don't love the first image it generates.
Which happens.
Oh, all the time. You just talk to it. You have a conversation to refine the image.
Like,
You could say, okay, I like the overall composition here, but can you change the man's shirt to red and maybe add a watch on his wrist?
and you can point to the areas.
Yeah, you can often use that same selection tool to highlight specific bits for targeted changes. It makes fine-tuning so much faster and more intuitive. It's a collaborative process.
That iterative process, that back and forth, sounds like a massive improvement over just hitting generate again and again, hoping for the best.
It really is. Saves so much frustration.
Okay, so that ability to refine is huge. Now let's think about how all this applies to more advanced storytelling and marketing goals. Let's talk trick #7, multi-perspective image generation.
Right, this is a pretty advanced technique, but it's powerful. It's like having a pro photographer on set, capturing the same scene, but from lots of different angles.
Okay, so how does that work? You ask for multiple angles in the first prompt.
Not usually. You start with one really detailed prompt for your main scene. Let's say a minimalist white ceramic vase with a single daisy placed on an oak table, product photography style.
Got it. Nice and specific.
ChatGPT generates that. Then you follow up. You say, okay, now show the same scene but from a top-down view. Or create a close-up shot focusing on the texture of the ceramic vase.
Ah, so you build on the first image.
Exactly. And you end up with a whole set of related images that tell a much more complete visual story. Perfect for, say, a product launch or a detailed feature showcase in a campaign.
That makes total sense for really showing off a product.
Yeah.
Okay, then for direct marketing impact, trick #11, creating high-converting ad creative.
Yeah, this is where ChatGPT can work directly off your ad copy. It turns your words into visuals.
So you'd paste in your ad text.
You could. For example, try a prompt like, create an Instagram ad creative in my branding that aligns with the following copy. Learning a new language has never been easier. Download the XYZ app to speak confidently in just 30 days.
And it generates an image based on that feeling.
Precisely. The key advice here, though, is to keep your visual instructions fairly broad. Don't just ask it to literally illustrate the text.
Got
You want to give it some creative freedom. Let it interpret the feeling and the benefit in the copy to create something more dynamic and engaging, rather than just a literal picture of someone learning a language.
Gotcha. Let the AI be creative. Okay, and for the really big narrative ideas, the most advanced technique, trick, #12, multi-scene storytelling.
This is where you create a sequence of connected images that show a transformation or a progression over time. Think before and after, or showing a process step by step.
Like telling a story visually.
Exactly. You could craft, say, a farm-to-table story across maybe 3 images.
Okay, like scene 1.
Scene 1, a farmer tending to a lush, organic vegetable garden under the morning sun, nice and fresh.
Scene 2.
Scene 2, a chef preparing a fresh salad with those same vegetables in a modern kitchen, showing the preparation.
And scene 3.
Scene 3, a family happily enjoying that beautiful salad at a cozy restaurant table. The final result, the enjoyment.
Ah, I see. It connects the dots visually.
Precisely. It creates that full narrative arc. Really powerful for marketing campaigns, maybe a social media series explaining something, or even educational content walking people through a concept.
That's super useful. Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground here, these amazing capabilities from the basics of prompting right through to complex visual stories. But to really get the most out of this and avoid tearing your hair out,
Yes. There are definitely pitfalls.
let's quickly touch on a few common mistakes people make. First one seems obvious after our chat, but vague prompts.
Oh, the classic. You'll just never get the same quality from a car as you will from, a sleek red convertible sports car, driving along a winding coastal road at sunset, professional cinematic lighting, high detail.
Night and day difference. Okay,
Yep.
mistake number 2.
Forgetting negative prompts. We touched on this, but it's worth repeating. If you absolutely don't want something text on the image, maybe a certain object, extra fingers, tell it. Add no text, no letters, no watermarks, whatever it is.
It's amazing how one stray element can ruin it.
It really can. So be explicit about the don'ts as well as the do's.
Good reminder, next mistake, messing up brand consistency.
Yeah, if you've gone to the trouble of setting up your brand colors and style, maybe using the memory feature, use them. Don't just accept a generation that looks totally off-brand just because it's technically good.
Keep it consistent. And the last big mistake.
Accepting the first result as final. Treat that first image generation as a draft, a starting point.
Use that iterative editing we talked about.
Exactly. Use the conversation. Use the selection tool. Tweak it, refine it. Don't settle for okay when perfect is just a few conversational edits away.
Solid advice. Avoiding those pitfalls really will make the whole creative process smoother and the results much better.
Absolutely. It's about optimizing how you work with the AI. Treat it like that collaborative partner we mentioned.
Definitely. So these 12 ChatGPT image tricks, they really do transform how you can approach visual content. I mean, from nailing that 8-element prompt foundation right up to crafting multi-scene stories.
Yeah. It puts truly professional-grade tools directly into your hands. Tools that, honestly, used to be reserved for highly skilled designers with expensive software.
And long timelines.
And long timelines, yes.
Remember, as we've said, ChatGPT is your creative partner here. You bring the vision, you give the direction, you provide that crucial feedback.
And it handles the heavy lifting, the technical execution. The creative potential is just immense once you get comfortable with these techniques.
So the big question for you listening is, now that you have these kinds of tools at your fingertips, what visual story are you finally going to bring to life? Or what creative barrier that maybe felt too high before are you going to break through now?
Don't feel you have to master all 12 at once.
No, definitely not. Maybe just pick 1 or 2 techniques that really resonate with what you need right now. Give them a try.
See how quickly you can start elevating your visual game. The future of creative freedom, it's kind of already here.